Being in Perth, I was thinking on the way down here too today, we've got a fair few ex-Bulldogs who now are back in Perth. Yeah. I thought about if it was going to be interstate, it's probably as good a place to play your 300th game if it had to be outside of Victoria. Tell us a bit about the history of some of those guys over there.
Yeah, look, we've got guys that we've really had good success with, I suppose, and went through some good times and some bad times together. We've got Todd Curley and Brad Weir and Peter Quill, who's over there, and Daniel Bandy. There's so many blokes over there that have played for the Bulldogs and from the West, and they're all excited. Before the Collingwood game, all of them rang and said, mate, I know you're going to get over the line this week and you and Westy are going to play your 300th over here in front of us. So, it'd be great to see those guys again and to spend a little bit of time with them, and for them to share in that special moment for me and Westy will be great.
Now, just on a topical moment, I've just heard recently that it looks like Jason Ackermanis has made a decision that he'd like to come to the club next year. Did you have anything to do with that at all, or any discussions leading up to that? And what do you think that means for the football club going forward?
I didn't have any discussions with that at all. And look, when I suppose I made the decision to retire, well, that probably gave them a little bit of scope to go and get, or a lot. or to go and get Jason Ackermanis, I suppose. But look, for him to come to a club, a player like that's had premiership success, is a superstar player, obviously. For him to come to the footy club is only going to enhance the footy club, and that's all I want.
It's looking like a different place from when you started you debuted in 92. The thing that struck me about the Ackermanis decision, I suppose there's a fair bit of water to go under the bridge before he ends up in the red, white and blue, is the fact that he's made a decision to do that. We've got a triple premiership player, Brownlow medalist, best and fairest, who's actually chosen to come to the Bulldogs over any other suitor that possibly would have them. Now, I know when I was at the footy club, it was hard enough to keep guys, let alone go and recruit guys, because we didn't have the funds, obviously. The resources weren't good enough. With a $20 million development, the playing list we've got together at the moment, you leave the place in pretty good shape.
It just shows, what a great effort that the David Smorgans and the Campbell Roses have done for the footy club, and I hope that I've actually played a part in that and sticking around. And look, Simon, I remember when you first came to the club, as you said, it was that hard to get people to come across to the Bulldogs, and people are going, who the hell wants to go to the Bulldogs, And it just shows what a great place the club is to be around now, and how it's turned itself around. And I reckon it's just a phenomenal effort, and if we can get the guys like Jason Ackermanis or somebody else to the footy club, it's only going to make the place better, and that's what we want.
Mate, you and I have trained over the years in some pretty ordinary surrounds and with some bricks put together as weights and some average sort of setups. So it must be with a little tinge of jealousy and regret that you're leaving the place when I think the facility's going to be unveiled next year. That's going to be worth about $20 million.
Yeah, that's right. Look, like $20 million, the guys are going to have some good rub-down benches instead of lying on slabs of wood or something like that. But look, I reckon it's awesome. And for me anyway, to see the footy club go ahead in the way it's going, I couldn't be any more prouder, I suppose. And for those guys, I hope they appreciate what they're getting next year and the year after, because we've had to have done it hard. But I suppose in doing that too, I suppose you've learnt the way that look, North Melbourne did it in the 90s. They had shocking facilities and won premierships. So if the footy club gets the $20 million development, you try and tell the young guys, don't lose your soul. Things might come a little bit easier. You might get a big TV and it shows the whiz bang things of footy now, but the heart and soul is the place, and should never lose the fact of that.
Mate, you've gone through some coaches in your time as well too. Obviously, Terry was some pretty lateral thinking ones too in Wheeler and Wallace. Tell me a bit about Rodney Eade, the impact he's had on the place. He's obviously been pretty significant. He's come at a time when the talent's coming through as well too. But tell me a bit about the impact he's had.
Look, I think Rocket is more than a coach. He's a teacher. He's such a good tactician of the game, and even me at 33 is still learning the game from him, and I don't think I would have learnt that from anybody else. The way that he communicates to the players, especially the younger guys, he sort of treads a fine line where he knows where to get stuck into them, but he knows how to put our arm around them and really help them through. And I think that has been great for our young guys because they probably needed that. They needed a little bit of a kick in the pants, and but then a little bit of guidance as well. So, Rocket will come in at quarter time or half time and give you a spray, and instead of just walking off and not talking to you again, he'll come up and help you and say, okay, this is what I want you to achieve in this quarter. And then at the end of the next quarter, if you've done those things, he's the first person to come up to you and say, well done, mate. And so I think that's where a lot of coaches can learn a lot of things from Rocket. And, and look, he's been terrific.
Can he take the Bulldogs to a premiership?
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that he is the coach to take us forward. And as you were saying before, he has got the players. We've had a lot of good draft choices over the last few years with guys like Adam Cooney and Ryan Griffin and Farron Ray and these guys. They're potential superstars of the game. And if we can hold on to them, I'm sure there's going to be great success around the footy club.
They might be the next Rohan Smith, perhaps. In closing, mate, Saturday night's game, it's in the game itself. Obviously, there's a fair bit going around it, and there's going to be a bit of fanfare around yourself and Scott, as there should be. The Eagles, they're going to be stung by a narrow loss. They obviously still played some good footy against the reigning premiers and got done. They're going to be on the home patch. It's going to be a tough ask.
It's going to be a very tough ask. Going over to Perth is very hard and very difficult, but the one good thing about it is that we've done it before, and we have the belief and confidence of ourselves that we can go over them. And really, we've got nothing to lose. We'd be extremely disappointed if we don't put up a good showing on Saturday night. I'm sure the boys will. And myself and Westy have spoken to the boys about, okay, it's our 300th game, but more importantly is that when we get a win, we're actually going to be in a preliminary final, and we're going forward. Like, I mean, how much more exciting could that be for a young group? And we tried to sort of say that take the chance while you've got it, because it mightn't come around again. Everyone said that we'll get a few players back next year and we'll improve, but you don't know that. You don't know that we'll improve. It happened in 1985 where the Bulldogs were on top of the ladder. They got beaten in a preliminary final by 10 points, and they didn't play in another preliminary final for another 7 years, until 92. They got beaten, and we didn't play in another preliminary final for another 5 years. So it's not just going to happen for them. So we've been telling them to take the advantage of what we've got now and leave no stone unturned to just have a crack. And that's what we'll be doing on Saturday night, and we're looking forward to it.
You must have an eye to the potential opponent the week after in Adelaide. There would be a tinge of 97 coming into your mind there. There's the image is burned in my memory of you on your knees, thumping the ground. How tough was that for you, that period?
Look, it was very difficult. I think, going through the pain of losing a preliminary final. Like, I mean, you've been there and done that, and it was bitterly disappointing. And that's why I try and tell the young blokes, as I said before, that things just aren't going to happen. And I would love to press rewind and go through that game again, but obviously you can't do that. So this is my last chance. This is my last chance to play off in a grand final and a premiership, and I'll be doing everything I can to get that, because there's no tomorrow for me. Tell me, mate, too, would you like to press rewind on that game as well, and maybe take back the spray you gave to Shane Ellen, telling him that we're going to be playing in a prelim in a granny next week? I just look like, I mean, I'm going to take that to the grave with me, and look, like, I mean, that's the way it goes. We're 20 odd points up with about 8 minutes to go, and I thought I'd say, look, ain't you spewing, you left us, because we're going to be playing in a grand final. But it's come back to haunt me a bit, but look, that's footy. They're the decisions that you make, I suppose, and hopefully we can turn it around. Mate, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You've always worn the emotion on your sleeve. Ornament to the game, a legend of the Western Bulldogs Football Club. Good luck on the weekend for the rest of your career and in retirement. Thanks for your time, Rohan Smith. Thanks, Simon. Thanks very much, mate.
Rohan Smith with Simon Garlick. Smith is out on Subiaco Oval going through his warm-up with a team that is unchanged.